Welcome to the Lead Her Radio Show, where up is in and women are on the rise. Featuring your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith, business consultant and strategist, speaker, and international best-selling author. Kim supports women entrepreneurs in becoming top producers in their business. Kim's guests will be sharing business strategies and how to overcome obstacles and achieve true success. And now, here's your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith.
Hey everybody, good evening, another Monday evening. Welcome to Bold Mindful Mondays. I've got a wonderful guest in the green room waiting to come out. She's actually one of the co-authors in Bold is Beautiful. Yes, I've been interviewing a lot of the co-authors, but a lot more than just a co-author. But before we get to Belle, my guest, couple of things. Yes, Bold is Beautiful. We launched December 20th, and we took that to a number one international best-selling spot on Amazon. And the book is still available on Amazon if you have not gotten your copy. Grab your copy. Get to know these women. They are amazing. They put their heart from their chest onto their sleeves and down into words in this book. And they're amazing. Their words, what they wrote, you can learn so much. They're inspiring, motivating, beautiful women. So make sure you go to Amazon.com, Bold is Beautiful, and get your copy. I am currently in my second project, Bold is Beautiful, the bare truth about owning a business. And that will be out in May. I am looking for co-authors, so if you would like a beautiful opportunity to be involved in this book, let me know. You can reach me at www.kimbsmith.com, kimbsmith.com, and just go to the contact sheet and just say, I would like to know information about your book project. Well, we're broadcasting live this evening from Bold Radio Station. Again, this is where us entrepreneurs want to get our voice out globally, through a radio show. So if you are interested in doing that as well, we provide a 5-star turnkey experience for you. Keep your eyes open. There's a lot changing up at Bold Radio Station. We've got some new people coming on next month. Some times of some shows are going to be changing. Just a lot going on. Technology-wise, a lot going on, a lot changing. That's all I'm going to say. I feel like jumping out of my chair. I get so excited about changing. All right. Well, that's enough. Let's move on. This is such an important topic, what we're going to be talking about tonight, clarity and vision. So, without further ado, I want to bring my guest out, Belle Kohen. Belle holds an Associates of Applied Sciences degree in dental hygiene and has worked as a dental consultant for 1-800-Dentists, as well as Mercer Advisors. She has conferred with dental offices around the United States. Her other accomplishments include co-owner of Petland franchise in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, and as a self-taught printer and advertising specialties consultant. Okay, this woman has been busy. Belle also is a real estate manager for L&F Investments, LLC, a family-owned business. As a graduate of Coach University in 2011, Belle has found her true passion as a business development and life coach. She works with clients to set and achieve life and business goals, attain better life balance, and to dream and plan for their futures. Moving into coaching, consulting, and mentoring arena has proven to be where Belle has found her stride. It has opened up an amazing network of women in the world willing to step out and make a difference, and that's exactly what Belle Kohen does, is she helps women step out and really make a difference through clarity and vision. So, if you all would, please welcome Belle Kohen tonight. Put your hands together. Come on out, Belle.
Hi there, Kim. How are you?
Good, Belle. How are you? Thanks for being on the show this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here, and Vision and clarity, that's quite the topic.
Oh, and that's a huge, broad topic. We could probably stay here for a couple of weeks talking about that. But, you know, first of all, before we get going, I hope you're warm because, as you know, we're getting snow in the areas that we live in.
Around 6 inches today, yes. It hasn't stopped.
Oh, my God. It's beautiful, though. Belle, as we're interviewing this evening, Belle is in the Chicago area. I'm in the Detroit area. And that snow that she's getting is heading this way. So she got her 6 inches all day. We're getting 6 inches tonight while we are sleeping. So we're going to wake up to that. And it's not like we don't have enough snow on the ground. No, good Lord, no. Gosh, please. Enough. On to spring. So anyways, let's just jump right in, Belle. I mean, clarity and vision. I just want to begin. You know what? Actually, I'm going to step back here, because I don't even know this story about you. What led you to going to Coach University in 2011? What was that turn for you? What led you to become a coach? I don't even know the story about you.
Well, I've had, as you can tell, not just one career, probably more than a handful. And every time one door closes, the next one opens. I stopped doing the traveling with 1-800-Dentist and Mercer Advisors, which was, I was considered a road warrior, which is someone who's gone Monday through Thursday every week of the month. And, you know, you have time to come home and do your laundry and write your reports, and off you go for another week. So it's a very difficult pace to keep up. So I realized that not only is the consulting and coaching something that I love, it led me to go and take the classes necessary in order to become a certified coach, and, you know, to figure out what my vision would be for the next however long, until something else jumps up and says, wait, you need to go in another direction. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I think I find that happens about every day. So
that, you know what, Belle, I mean, we laugh about that, but it's very true. When we're entrepreneurs and when we own our own businesses, there's constant multiple directions. And I think was what the topic we're going to get into this evening, the clarity and the vision. It's so important to be so clear and on your vision so that we don't get sidebarred, sidetracked, you know, whatever, and pulled off track, if you will.
Right. And so I did take time to really recently come up with, you know, who it is that I want to work with and what it is that I'm offering, and some of the stories about some of the people that I've coached in the past. And, you know, that's my vision, and I want to become very clear and then focus in with my clients. And I really, you know, we tend to have such a great relationship that we become very friendly, because that's my personality. And generally the people that I coach, you know, once they become comfortable, it becomes a very comfortable working relationship, and that's part of what I'm very proud of.
Yeah, you build that rapport. I know Absolutely. That. Yeah, I know you do. You build that rapport, and you have such a warm, immediate warmness about you. And everybody that's listening, you know, I hope you can hear and tell in Belle's voice, it's very upbeat and it's very playful, and you know, and you can tell she likes to laugh, you know, and we have to do that, right, Belle? I mean, life is so serious that, boy, sometimes I think we should do this quite regularly, about once every hour, sit back and laugh, you know what I mean?
That's cute. I have a cousin that just got a new job in Minneapolis, and she's a happy yoga teacher. So talk about laughing, and, you know, laughter coach and yoga instructor. So that's funny. I love that.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of fun. I went to yoga yesterday here in the Detroit area, and They have different breaths, like breath of fire and this kind of breath. Well, we did a new one yesterday, breath of joy. And I'm like, oh, when I'm getting really stressed here sitting at my desk, I got to stand up and do that. It was amazing. I learned a new breath, but, breath of joy. I mean, and it was energizing and it was fun. And you laughed a little bit with this breathing in this specific yoga move. So I just think we all need tools like that. But anyways, so Belle, how is it that you made that turn? I mean, first of all, when you were traveling, people think that is so luxurious of a lifestyle to be traveling. Oh my God, it is so nice.
Right.
So...
Like, where are you now? Well, right now I'm in the shuttle bus going from the airport to the hotel. You'd have to actually look in your calendar to see where you were last week, because it's not glorious. You're working all the time that you're on the road. So that's what brought me to coaching. Is that it's something that you can do either face-to-face, you can do it by Skype, you can do it in Google Hangout, you can do it on the phone. And that makes for, I think, a wonderful business. Mm-hmm. And, the people that I look to be part of what I do are people who are already entrepreneurs, or anyone who's in a managerial leadership type position, whether it's a manager, a CEO, professionals. I've worked with people who own their own practices in the medical and dental fields. And, similar to what you do, I like to teach the 1, 2, 3s, the ABCs of how to set up a business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I used to do that. I don't work too much with that anymore. And that is one of my most favorite things. I mainly work with existing brick and mortars that are want to organize their processes and take they're already generating revenue and go to the next level. I know that is one thing about you that I know for sure. You're very good at working with these fairly new businesses and going, taking them from 1, 2, 3 to 4, 5, 6 and A, B, C. D, E, F. I don't know my alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F.
You'll figure it out.
You know what that is. But what I'm saying, the analogy, soup to nuts, if you will, to get them going and up the door and out because that can be one of the largest humps or steps that we as business owners take. My rule of thumb is the timeline is about the first 2 years of a business. You have to push your sleeves up, work so damn hard, and invest to grow that business and grow yourself. Because it's both. It's same. It's not like our business is separate from us. But I know that's one of the things that you like to do with new businesses.
Right. And some of the things that I think my coaching brings that may be a little different than others is that I'm a quick problem solver, and I love to work with people who ask a lot of questions and, love to listen to what it is that they're trying to say and help them figure out what it is that they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Because, it's not intuitive. It's not something that everyone is good at doing. And I think that when you can think quickly on your feet and you have someone who has a lot of pieces that are all moving, mm-hmm. What I like to do with them is sit down and try to, come up with a timeline, figure out a way to make it work for them in a lot smoother way, as well as have that accountability piece in there, because anybody who has had a coach before knows that our job is to help you set the timeline and help you figure out what the pieces are of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. But I also like to have a day, date, and time put on things so that if we don't reach it, that's fine. But that's probably because something very creative came up and stood right in the way and said, you know what, I need to go off in this direction right now, and I'll be able to come back to that piece of the timeline shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something, Belle, that's That is a priceless comment you just made. You know, we do need to be made accountable, whether it's to ourselves or whether our business coaches or our life coaches and consultants, strategists, whatever, and having timelines. Timelines we got to have them. We have to have the timelines, but we also can't get too wrapped up in those timelines where we miss out on opportunity in those creative moments.
Well, and I call that adjusting and readjusting.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to be flexible to sometimes go with the flow and adjust and I like that, adjusting and readjusting. So let's just jump right in here. How can, without giving everyone your bag of carrots away, as I like to say, is how can someone find clarity and vision? Because there's a lot of unclear people out there.
Well, it's the same as what I had to do when I took the shift from being strictly a consultant to consulting and coaching. I mean, clarity and vision only come when you can take the time to take care of yourself and get quiet and spend some time learning and thinking about, where do I want to be in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? Some people want to go as far as, a year to 5 years. Everyone's going to be different when it comes to that. But the vision and the clarity, if you have no vision, how can you become clear about it?
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Yep. No, yeah, you got it. Yes, you want to put the horse in front of the cart. Start with the vision.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
And it's so easy not to take the time for self-awareness and self-thought and self-care and finding the time to actually grow and flourish, which is what will happen. It's sort of, you do the adjustment and the readjustment or the set and the reset, and you can still continue to follow your timeline. It just may expand in some areas because that's where your life has taken you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it's like that. I love it. Reset, readjust, adjust. And that's being open and being able to go with the flow too, because we can. When you get to a point where you feel like you're forcing things and trying to control things, you're in trouble. You got to manage things. Right. Yeah, we got to manage things, not control, manage things. And you also have to let some things be able to weave themselves after you set the intention. So, all right, so someone has the vision. How do you take them into the clarity?
Well, I guess what I would say is, you need to dream. You need to think of what it is and dream about what you want your business to look like. Mm-hmm. And I think of it as a funnel for any of those of you who have, the set from IKEA that comes in 3 different sizes. And, how big is the funnel and how narrow do you have to get? Well, in the beginning, I would think that you would start large and try to funnel small. And then as you carve out what that means, then your narrow is not that narrow anymore because you've accomplished some of that. Mm-hmm. So the next thing to do is to move a little further and try to, grow and prosper and benefit from what your coaching experience is as well, because we're always there. We always want to be, by your side. We want to be a catalyst and someone who can take you from not even having had the vision, let alone the clarity. I mean, I have a story to tell about some of the people that I coached in the last year or two, and they were people who had unexpectedly lost their jobs. Mm. And, there's still a lot of bills to be paid, and life still has to go on, and it's a devastating time, but once you become clear that what you were doing before may not have been the end-all, do-all, be-all, and that perhaps if you looked a little to the right or to the left, or, don't necessarily take steps backwards, but open up your network, start putting yourself out there in a little bit different way. And both of the people that I'm referring to became very clear about the fact that what they were doing was in the past, What they want to do is in the future. And yeah, there's some steps I'm going to need to take in between. And fortunately, they're both gainfully employed, and they're happy temporarily. I think that the fact that they're paying their bills is helpful to them, because in this day and age, there are not, the most wonderful jobs in corporate unless you get lucky, because there's so many people looking. Mm-hmm. But it's, not to be negative, to be positive, to be sure that you will find something that you like, and that this is only the beginning of a new plateau or a new stepping stone in your life.
So, absolutely. And it's there were two things in there that you said I really like is, this is a new plateau and a new platform in your life. And this is not a stepping backwards. This is not taking steps backwards. This is, it's just a new chapter. It's just a new, chapter like you're saying. So, tell me some of the experiences when you witnessed, because I know I've witnessed this, within myself, and I'm sure you've witnessed this within yourself, let alone with clients, is when they reach that clarity. Tell me what you experience when you get to witness someone reach that clarity.
Well, the funniest part is how they recognize it, and mostly they will say something like, aha, or, why didn't I think of that? Or, I'm so glad you pointed me in that direction, because now I get it.
Yeah.
And, it happens to us. Some of us are not in a position to actually recognize it. But when you are, an aha moment's pretty cool.
Oh, I love those aha moments. I love those pivotal aha. I call them clearing moments. It's like, it's like there's like a dust storm, and then and the dust settles, and you have those clear pivotal aha moments. The clarity.
Right. And I will tell you that doing that chapter in Bold is Beautiful really did catapult me into a different place in my life. It was an aha moment for me. And what I am enjoying the most about it is all of the coaching and the sisterhood and all of the people that I am meeting and have met through all of the different, empowerment groups that there are, and all of the people like you and, the radio network and the radio station, and all those things have been very powerful for me. And I think that that's my experience. It may not be my client's experience, but, there are places like meetup.com where people who never go out, never do anything, don't have any extracurricular activities. I mean, as a coach, I ask them to please take a look at that website and to please pick 3 things that you like doing and to go and meet some new people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because without, you need to have connections, you need a sisterhood, you need a brotherhood, and we all laugh, but the truth is it does take a village.
It takes a huge village to lift us solopreneurs up, and it takes us solopreneurs to be involved with the village as well. That's you got to experience Bold is Beautiful, how we as a group drove that to international #1 bestseller. I mean, that took a collaborative effort to do.
Well, it was something I had never experienced before, that's for sure.
I know, it was fun, wasn't it? It's a beautiful journey, and there's, like you said, there's that sisterhood there, there's that private Facebook page that will always be there, and then there's the women, that even though we do get busy and go on with our lives, but we can still come back to that, which is beautiful. I love having that in my back pocket, so to speak.
Right, and it's not something I've really ever had in a large way before, and so I'm using it. I'm using it and I'm benefiting from it every single day.
Yeah.
And the other thing is also about all of the internet radio that goes on, especially your show. And I mean, if you're sitting and working and don't mind having a little noise in the background, I mean, just today I learned some absolutely amazing tips.
Yep.
And to me, that when I got off that call, and I forgot who it was, Eden, what her name was, the lady that did the few moments this afternoon at lunchtime.
Oh, Heather Eden, yes.
Heather Eden, right.
Yes.
So what I got from that, and it totally builds into my vision and clarity, I've been working in my study upstairs, and I have this entire fabulous finished basement. So I just decided that if I were to move my business downstairs and organize my space and, hang pictures and make it be really comfy for me, not only would I have way more space, but I would have privacy. Mm-hmm. Which, when you're talking on a radio show, whatever, that's what became really clear for me, is that having a space that was designated as my own with all the facilities that I need, except a stove, thank heavens. It just makes it so that I could actually sit down and relax and think about what we were going to talk about tonight and, come up with what that was that I wanted to share. And I think it made a huge difference because now, I'm organized and I don't have things that are in the wrong place. And so for me to sit down, I have a feeling I'll be able to start writing a blog soon and, come up with some more great ideas and move forward.
Well, so you just said something really good in there, Belle, that you have, see, when we own our own business, and I'm going to quote somebody on this one, but when we own our own business, it forces us to look into ourselves every single day. Cleaning up, I call it cleaning up the dog doo-doo in the backyard, our own backyards, all right? So what you just moved through is something you're going to definitely be sharing with clients and women. That's one of the things I found when I first got into coaching, where women had homes, and yes, women, and I'm not picking on our gender, but I work specifically with women. Women have in-home businesses, and they're working in the middle of the dining room table where everything is going on. It's like, you can't do that. You have to have a designated area for your office for a multitude of reasons. To close doors, to close shop, quitting time, Fred Flintstone, woo woo, you've got to shut that down, even though that office is in your home. And you need, like you just said, you need that environment for peace and quiet to get organized. Or even if you have some music playing in the background, it's your office, it's your space. Just because they're in our homes doesn't mean they take a back seat or any less respect. It's still a business, and you need a designated area. Belle, you've never been in my house, but my doors to my office, they're double doors, and they're glass. You can see through them. And there's something so metaphoric at the end of the day, or even on Sunday, when I close those doors. Now, come on, there's glass in them. You can still see in my office, but there's something about, it's Sunday, I've worked enough for the week, I need to decompress, and I close those doors. But you can still see them, but I close those doors. We need that in our home. We cannot be sitting in the middle of a dining room table.
Right, or a kitchen, or even in a small room. And that's what I was finding. It was very confining.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I had enough space. But the other part of that, and something I'm very clear about and will make certain to do when the weather is a little better, is to be sure to get out and, get some exercise and some fresh air every day, as well as, making sure I get some light because you know how the winter months are.
Yeah.
And I just happen to have one of those SAD lights, the seasonal affective disorder, and they have 10,000 looms or luxes, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And so you have that on for a few minutes once during the day, and it's wonderful. It really does boost your energy, and it boosts the way you're feeling.
Yes, and that was a very valid point that Heather Eden made at the midday tips for improved productivity. Is vitamin D is very important, and what Belle and I we live in states where in the wintertime, that white snow is beautiful, but we lack a lot of sunlight, and it does hinder on our health. And I got to say something, Belle. I have not I'm an outdoor walker, and this is the first winter that I can remember as an adult that I'm being challenged with the walking this year, and I'm feeling a little bit, low, the lack of the sunlight. And I normally don't say that. Usually by March I'm saying, all right, I'm tired of winter, let's get on to spring, but it doesn't slow me down. I have been slowed down this year with the ice and the cold temperatures don't bother me as much, but we've had a lot of lack of sunlight this year. So for those of you who live in more sunnier climates, that's what Belle and I we experience because of the areas that we live in, and that's what we're talking about. So there's another tool, Belle, personal experience that you can implement into your coaching practice. Because what I heard you say is when you decide to move downstairs in a finished basement, you went from this small room feeling so confined and, feeling small. And when you move downstairs, it's like your creativity just really rock and rolled and kicked in. And, so sharing that with clients as well as, something as simple as reminding people. And Belle, I don't know if you do this. And I keep saying I'm going to do it and I don't do it. First of all, I'm not leaving my house. It's too cold. Everybody we're so mobile. Technology is, we work out of our house. What would one afternoon look like if you went and packed it up and went and sat at a Starbucks and did some work? You got to break up the environment,
Right, and I was laughing because there's a very beautiful library in one of the suburbs nearby. It's Frank Lloyd Wright design, and I was going to go there today, and then I realized it was President's Day.
Oh, yeah, closed. And plus you're in the middle of a snowstorm, so.
Yes, also, that was just a minor part of what happened. But I think that creativity, for me, will be much greater in the room I have chosen because this is also my knitting studio. And I have all these wonderful, yarns in all different colors and flavors and textures. So that to me is really comforting, and I love that feeling. So that's going to make a huge difference.
So for yourself, what I'm hearing is we all have our different things that we look at because we're very visual human beings and touch and stuff. So as you're ramping your business up, because this is the year that you are really stepping into some high leverage stuff. You ended last year with the book, among other things, and then starting off this year, in which we're going to talk about, you're going to launch a radio show. You've got this book under your belt. You are just, things are starting to really shift for you. Like you were saying, you met a lot of different people globally, and that helps too, Belle, as well. But, when you are stuck like with a title about something or whether to turn right or left at the next fork of the road, go look at that yarn, be around that yarn. And that's another thing you're going to be able to share with your clients as well.
Oh, absolutely. And, there's a quote that I was reading in something, and I want to share with you because I think it's really appropriate here as well. And it's Khalil Gibran. Your living is determined not so much by what life brings you as by the attitude you bring to life, not so much by what happens to you as by the way your mind looks at what happens.
Who's that by? I love that.
Khalil Gibran.
How do you spell that?
Khalil, capital Gibran. And isn't it so true?
Yes.
You can't be creative and you can't have vision, you can't have clarity unless you have a good attitude.
So, you know what? Absolutely. So, with that all being said, is what do you feel is wrong with wishing and hoping?
I don't really think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay.
I think that wishing and hoping are wonderful, but I would like to encapsulate them into something that is more concrete. Because to just wish and hope is not the same as having an idea and having clarity. And, for every wish, take that wish. What is it you're wishing about? Let's extrapolate that and figure out what it is to, how do we get there?
I love that you said that you don't find that there's anything wrong with wishing and hoping. But let me ask you this. So I'm going to come over and play a little bit of an advocate here, not to be negative or anything, but do you feel that when people stay in that wishing and hoping mode, it's a obstacle that can hold them back from stepping into their true passion and dream and moving forward?
Well, I do, of course. And that's the piece about coaching that is so fun. Because when you take something that's a wish or a hope, and you know, as a coach, I would try very hard to draw out from them, what do you mean? What does that mean to you? What does it look like? How do you want it to be? In what direction do you want it to go? I mean, that's where we all, I think, start, is with a wish and a hope.
Yep.
And then we continue and, you know, put it on a timeline. Decide by what day of next week you're going to address it. And if you don't hit it on the nose, then it might be the next day. Mm-hmm. But at least you have a direction, you have a vision, and hopefully you'll become more clear about whether that's really the direction you want and need to go.
Mm-hmm. And I also want to add to that, Belle, because you are so right, is clarity. It's like we don't just get in our car and drive to the store and, oh, we got clarity. And yeah, and some of it does work like that. But sometimes when we get those aha pivotal moments around that clarity, we still need to do a little bit more work. I just want everyone to know sometimes that stuff just does not pop in overnight. It takes some work. And it does take some time. I want to throw that in there. You know, it just takes work and time. So here's the deal. We are more than halfway through the show. So for the listeners that need to get off a little early, even though these are recorded, Belle, we're not done, but could you give them your website, please?
Sure. It's an easy one. It's www.coachbelle.com.
Oh, that is an easy one. And of course, people can find you on Facebook. And
yes.
You're on LinkedIn too, right? Yes.
I'm everywhere. She's everywhere. She's everywhere.
Okay, now who wouldn't want to coach with that voice? Now, come on. See?
Yeah, if you want me on Twitter, I'm Belle Kohen, and it's Belle, like Beauty and the Beast. That's what I always tell everyone. And it's really very easy to find me on coachbelle@gmail.com. I'm Skypeable. I'm on Facebook as Creative Coaching LLC. And anyone really who... And I've offered this before, and no one's really taken me up on it. But as kind of a, trying to think of the best way of saying this, as a challenge to me, I think it would be really fun if people would write me a coaching question. Write me a question about something that they've been thinking about, something that's a wish or a hope. And let's see whether or not we can't compartmentalize it and then, you know, take the little pieces out and turn it into something.
Okay, so where can they implement that question? Because that's a great idea. Where can they send that to you?
I would do it right on my website, which is, again, www.coachbelle.com, because one of the things that I wanted to say earlier about trying to find the exact vision for my coaching practice is that I don't want to only coach people who are entrepreneurs or who are startups. I feel that, you know, my strength is to have the intuition and to have the problem solving capabilities. So it doesn't matter what you do, where you come from, whether you even have had the idea or not. Give me the opportunity to see if I can't coach you to have a dream and to find out. I mean, I want to help. That's what my main focus is for the rest of my life, is to help people to have the vision and to become really clear and to have, you know, a business that they're thrilled about and they're happy to go to work and, you know, to be in a place where they're happy. And I know it takes a lot. It does not just happen overnight. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but I feel like I'm a guide, and that's part of what my coaching is guiding people to be their best and to have their best and to to be happy with what they're doing.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So everybody listening, take Belle up for that challenge and that opportunity, and make sure you either reach out, gosh, you can track her down on Facebook too, but get on her website and send her some questions, some coaching questions, because that is going to be her, some of her radio show platform next month when her show starts, is some of those questions. I want to tackle those questions on the air. I'm liking this. So that was a nice segue. So let's move right into that. Let's promote. Come on, let's promote that radio show. You are launching a radio show next month.
I am.
Yeah, which is exciting.
I think it is, yes. And been kicking around a name, and I think that create a buzz with Belle sounds like something fun. And so what I'm hoping is, not only will I have guests like I'm a guest today on Kim's show, but I wanted to try to do something a little different, and that would be to have people calling in or sending in, questions, so that as quickly as you can come up with an idea, I would spend a few minutes coaching. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be specific. It doesn't have to be whatever it is. Let's play with it and see if not, number one, we couldn't have some fun. And number two, if we couldn't come to some sort of a how to go about doing it, or a why are we going to do this, and just to show off what it means to be coached. So many people in our audiences don't have any idea what we're talking about.
No, they don't.
And so I'm offering that as an opportunity. So a really great idea is to have people just, type me a little thing like, how can I determine where I'm going to be in the next 5 years? Well, that's a heck of a question. We need to look at that.
Ooh, that's a big question. That is a big question.
Yeah, where are you now? and just pick it apart.
Yeah. Boy, that's a... Woo-wee. Did everyone hear that? That's a big question. So if you ever thought about that just recently, being that we're in a new year, where am I going to be in 5 years? That's a great question to submit to Belle. And there's so many other questions. I think, Belle, another thing that you like to do is, and you mentioned this earlier when you said you were moving downstairs, everything's organized, is organization as well.
Right. And, part of setting up a new business is putting systems in place.
Yep.
And, how do you run a business? How do you run anything? You can't even really go to the supermarket unless you have a list, for some people.
Yes.
But it's very important for your productivity, for everything that you're going to do, to have a time and place for it and to schedule it into your day. And I have found, working with young entrepreneurs, that some people don't even have a calendar. So if you don't know what you're doing today or tomorrow or next Thursday, a good place to start is with using a calendar.
Oh my gosh, people don't have a calendar? Oh my gosh.
I have actually worked with people who in the beginning didn't. But so what? That was what they didn't have to begin with. But now when I look where they are today, it's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And, that's another point to bring up. And that is about where you are today and where you want to be. I know where I want to be because I see some people who are there already. But in order for me to get there, I have to take the steps to build my business to become what they are.
Right.
And so there's people who haven't even taken the time yet to think about what they want to be ever. And that's also an opportunity.
Yes.
Now, give us the chance to work with you to make this life, which, as we know, is the only one we get, into something really powerful and graceful and empowered. And just helping other people, for me, is how it's all going to come down.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. I like the systems and processes, and I never thought I would love systems and processes. But as a business owner, I love systems and processes, and that's huge with the radio station that I have growing very fast, leaps and bounds. Is those processes and the systems have got to be set in place. And even if you don't own a radio station, you still got to have processes and systems set into place, and organization and timetable tasks. Or else, we as entrepreneurs, we get distracted. Oh, I heard the dryer go off. Oh, I've got to go do this. Oh, and before you know it, you're off doing other things, and you didn't even accomplish, the steps to get to that big rock for the week.
And, I find a really good, and this is a little tip I'm throwing in, the use of a timer.
Yes.
So that you can actually give yourself, if it's an hour, great. If it's an hour and a half, but set a timer so you're not disturbed, so that in that period of time, you are going to be able to accomplish as much as you possibly can. And when it goes off, then look at your calendar and what am I supposed to be doing next? Or go put go make dinner or whatever. And I do agree, it's difficult when you work out of the house.
Yes, I used to, I am a big promoter of that. Get yourself an egg timer on your desk. I have my timers go off. I'm a Microsoft Outlook girl, and I set my timers. I do 15 minutes, 5 minutes, warning signals and stuff like that, just to let me know. You have to do that. You have to be very organized and very time management conscious. At one time, I didn't use the Outlook timer, so I'd use the timer on my stove. If I was going into a project like a blog or something, and I had 2 hours booked off to write it, I set that timer 2 hours, and once that went off, I was done. It was time to move on to the next thing, because I would have it scheduled to go back at it the next day. And that's what we have to do. We literally have to schedule that stuff.
And the truth of the matter is, it feels really good because you've accomplished something.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love checking off things like that and accomplishing.
Right. And so I use one all the time.
So, Belle, talk a little bit about The Boldest Beautiful Book, your chapter. What did you write? What did you just give a little bit of tantalizing what you wrote on and how it's changed your life?
Okay, I will. The name of my chapter was called How to Plan for an Extraordinary Life. It was a pretty sad time in our family. My husband's father passed away, and of course I had a crunch deadline to get my chapter in, and how I was feeling and what it was all about was understanding from another person how to set my goals and how to use some of the things that I learned from him. And I'll mention what they were. I mean, he was a very patient person, and he didn't speak a lot, not because he didn't know a lot, but because he chose his words very carefully. And he was very, very brilliant in his religious teachings. He as a young man learned and studied in a yeshiva, and he and his wife, my mother-in-law, were both Holocaust survivors. And, I talk about how important it is that we all stop and think before we speak, and how easy it is just to, express whatever's on the tip of your tongue, when in fact and in reality, when you stop and really think things over, they're not as big a deal, and they shouldn't be portrayed as such. And criticism and, just all those things that made him such a quiet, wonderful person. And I took away a lot of learning from looking back at his life and how, even though he didn't have a lot to say, what he did say was worth living for and living about and growing through. Mm-hmm. It really and truly did make a difference. And, I see what an impact he has made on my children's lives and so many people around that, when someone's so quiet and isn't out there making a lot of noise, the amount of community that were involved with him that we didn't even pay attention to and know about was absolutely amazing.
Mm.
And so, there's business concepts to be learned there as well.
Yeah.
Can't always shout out, I'm the greatest, I'm the best. If you don't coach with me, you'll never. When in fact, I want people to find me because of what the things are that I can offer them.
Mm-hmm.
And running out and trying to be, spending the most money on the most advertising, or that's not really the necessary thing, because your clients refer you to other like minds. And that's what I love about it too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and the people that you meet and the lives you get to change, and which, by the way, with the book, unbeknownst to us and people also too that we know that have purchased the book, that we're changing their lives with our words. It's just it's so amazing. And it amazes me every day. People, I not quite every day, but I'll get a message and it's like, okay, I don't even know this person, and they have the book and they're reading it and they love it.
And I'm just going to read you the last sentences in my book, which are, we need to remember that we're only on this planet for a finite amount of time, and that every day must have some joy, fun, and happiness in it. This is a lesson well learned on how to lead an extraordinary life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. I mean, some of us are so bogged down that we don't ever have a minute to relax and play with our kids and just giggle, which, I mean, we need to get back to that. It's time to slow down a little. Take a deep breath.
Yep. And go outside in the snow and make snow angels.
That's it. I'm going to wait till they shovel my driveway, then I will. But, I've enjoyed the journey so far, and I see it as being one that will be very enriching in the future for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so we've got about 9 minutes left. Could you please tell everybody one more time how they can get in touch with you?
Of course I can. My website is www.coachbelle.com. On Facebook, it's Creative Coaching LLC. Facebook, Belle Kohen. On LinkedIn, it's kind of long and arduous, so it has a bunch of numbers after it, so I don't expect you to look that up. But on Twitter, I'm just plain old Belle Kohen. And Twitter's really a lot of fun if you haven't been using it. And I'm also on Pinterest. It's pinterest.com/Belle Kohen.
Mm-hmm. And on the LinkedIn, I do believe they can just type your name in and seek you out.
And it'll take you right there.
Yeah, and they'll take you right there, and then you can reach out. Just make sure, though, for tonight that you type in, when you reach out to Belle, that you typed in you heard her on the radio show, just so she knows who you are and maybe doesn't think that she's being spammed or something, but just so she knows who you are and so she can accept the friendship. All right, so I have one last question. All right, Belle, so regarding around just coaching in general, regarding around just your life in general, or regarding around, speaking around the clarity and vision, what's your last piece of words of wisdom to wrap up the show this evening?
Taking care of yourself. We tend to take care of everyone else, and whether it's drawing a hot bath, whether it is laying on the floor, stretching, having a candle lit, meditating, listening to, a favorite music, whatever it is that you enjoy, every single day you need to make time to do that for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because it's something I'm learning. And what I find is that all of these new women that I've met through the sisterhood, shall we call it?
Yes.
That's something that really comes across, that you can't take care of anybody else properly until you have spent some time taking care of yourself. And I agree wholeheartedly. And it comes through in my coaching, it comes through in my consulting, and in my everyday life, that when I get really stressed out and all the, brain chemicals and all the things that are moving us around all day, it's really good to let them be quiet and have time for yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm a big promoter on meditation. But
right, and I'm just getting into it, and I'm enjoying it. So
yeah, guided meditation since we are talking about meditation, Belle, and that's a beautiful piece of wisdom that you shared. And meditation doesn't have to be an hour long, 20 minutes long. You can start with a simple 10 minutes, put on a headset, and do a guided meditation and just let someone guide you through it. So that's one of my favorite of the guided meditations.
Right.
With the music, so I can totally let go. And just find your favorite place to do something like that. And start small. Start with 10 minutes. Before you know it, you'll be craving 20. That happened to me. I said I could never sit still long enough. Oh my gosh, some days 20 minutes is just not long enough.
Right.
So it just depends. Listen to what your body needs. And I agree with Belle. Draw a bath, lay down, stretch, light some candles. Sit down and read a chapter in a book in the middle of the day when you normally wouldn't do that. Or, just self-care. Self-care is so, so, so important.
Right, and giving yourself permission to do it. Just like you said, in the middle of the day, whoever said you could do that? Well, Kim and I are both saying it's okay.
Yeah.
Sit down and just relax for a half an hour with a cup of herbal tea.
Yep.
And the rest of your day will be better.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. And it's very, very, very true, especially when you take that time out. Belle, I can't believe this was an hour already. That went by really fast.
It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show tonight. Thank you for all your golden kernel nuggets of wisdom and sharing your laughter and and that beautiful voice of yours. I really appreciate it. And everybody listening, please reach out and connect with Belle on social media. Go to her website. Oh, don't forget to submit some of those questions, because that's called laser coaching. And if you're stuck around one specific area, Belle can really quickly laser coach you and help you take a couple steps to get a little clearer as to what next directions that you need to take. So please take advantage of that, because that's a beautiful offer. So again, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight and meeting one of the co-authors in Bold is Beautiful, Belle Kohen, and listening to her kind words of power-filled words of wisdom. Again, it's another Monday evening for Bold Mindful Mondays. Stay tuned on www.bold radio stations. We got a lot going on. A lot going on. We're making some changes. We're adding some shows. Some shows are going to change times. There's going to be music implemented really soon here. So there's a lot going on. So sit tight. Make sure you're checking in on the website. We're also on Facebook, Bold Radio Station on Facebook. I'm Kim Boudreaux Smith. I'm all over Facebook, LinkedIn. Also, my other website is kimbasinboysmith.com. And we also have a Bold is Beautiful. If you want to meet these co-authors and see their beautiful faces, www.bold-is-beautiful.com. Go take a look at these beautiful women, their stunning faces, and then grab the book and put the face to their beautiful words, because, listen, I don't care if you think my opinion is biased, call it whatever you want. They were beautiful co-authors, authors. They presented such beautiful work. Get to know them, reach out, and that's on Amazon.com, Bold is Beautiful. So we'll see you here again next Monday. Stay warm, be safe in the snow if you're living in snow like Belle and I, and we'll see you next Monday. Make it a great week. Take care, everybody.